and welcome to the 80s Archives. I am your host, Hobbs, and we are doing a collaboration with Tochi. That's right, Jennifer Tochi. She is also reviewing the same movie. We are talking about Ferris Bueller's Day Off. This is a legendary film from the 80s, so let's get right into it. This movie gets a 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb. Came out on June 11th, 1986, and is one of the more popular 80s films on the market in the last 5 to 10 years, in the mid to late 80s. So here's our thoughts, and here's what's going to happen. We're just going to basically do a review on each channel, and let us tell you our thoughts. So let's talk about Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Of course, let's go over the cast. Matthew Broderick. You have Charlie Sheen, Jennifer Grey. Of course, you know the director, the great John Hughes. Alan Ruck, Mia Sara. And of course, the opening sequence, you have Ferris in his bed, and his parents are trying to figure out if he's okay. He's clammy, they think he's sick. And of course, his sister Jeannie comes into the room, letting them know that he's full of crap and that he's not really sick. And that's where the opening sequence takes off, and basically we start the adventure from there. Some interesting tidbits about this film. It grossed $70 million. $70 million at the box office. You also recognize Lyman Ward. He is Ferris's papa, and he was also in A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. He was Grady's dad trying to bust down the door to come in and save his life before Freddy dismantled him. So at this point in the game, he fooled his parents. So now he's telling us how to basically get a day off of school, because he's done 9 days in a semester. I do want to pinpoint a quote that he said here in the movie. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and take a look around every while, it's just going to go right by you. That's so true. To stop and look around every now and again. And that is so true in the world of the Hobbs horror right now. And of course, you get Simone Adamsley, played by Christy Swanson. And of course, Bueller, Ben Stein, who I first got to know him through the Wonder Years films, as well as in The Mask. Like I said, I was born in 82. I was just kind of a little squirt when this film came out, so, And of course, we're getting to the part where we meet the residential badass, played by Adam Ruck. The Alan Ruck playing Cameron Fry. And I feel like the stuff that Bueller is telling him, because he thinks that he's sick, he might actually be sick, is something that I would have said to somebody back in the day. Using that sales technique, because Cameron really is sick. I've actually heard some people say that they liked Alan Ruck's performance just as much as Matthew Broderick's in the film. Carrying on. So, one of his biggest counterparts here in the film, one of his biggest obstacles, is to just try to get through school, get through the day for graduation. But his principal is really, really onto him, played by Jeffrey James. Plays Principal Rooney, who is definitely onto him. And also, one of my favorite characters in the film is the principal's secretary, who was played by Eddie McClurg. You guys remember her from the Hogan Family TV show, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, many, many different things. So those two just go well together. So basically, Sloane is his girlfriend. He picks her up as well, and the three of them go out for a day, and they go out to dinner. They drive around the town. Some really fun parades, which apparently was actually happening in real life, and some of the people dancing were actually not part of the film. They were just there dancing and having a great time. But, most of you have seen this movie, and I just wanted to do something cool, just do a little collab with Tochi, talk about this epic 80s film. I really miss John Hughes. Really, a lot of his films have a lot of the same, type of premise, and they're a lot of the same actors, actresses, and stuff. And I just really enjoyed Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I don't think I have appreciated this one enough, and I'm so glad I got to watch it tonight. There was a time I used to kind of rank it a little bit lower in the 80s films, in my opinion, but it's definitely going back up there as a higher ranking of some of my top 80s films of all time. Let me know what you guys think of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I don't want to go any farther into it because I feel like I've already talked about the entire movie. But yeah, this is the 80s Archives. Go check out Jennifer Tochi. She's doing a video on the same film. Let her know what you think. Let me know what you think of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Thanks for watching the 80s Archives. This is Hobbs Horror. Peace.